Yeah, I muted myself. What's up, guys? AWA Air Warrior, man. So, this is Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania spoiler review. So, like I just said, this is spoiler review. So, there will be spoilers in the stream. So, like, I guess if you've seen the movie, you know what. Okay, if you don't care about spoilers, well, you can watch. But if you do care, this is not the stream for you. Yes, there's audio today. There's audio. I checked. Don't worry, Vortex. I checked today. Don't worry. Can you hear me, Vortex? That's the question. See if you can hear me. But yes, so if you've seen the movie, okay, stay. If you haven't seen the movie, stay away from this stream because this is what the stream is about. Okay? Thank you, Vortex. Thank you for confirming. Appreciate it. So, I have stuff to do later on, so we cannot go really long. Maybe best hour and 45 minutes or 2 hours, maybe? No, hour and a half, maybe. It's actually 4:45 my time. Hour and a half at best. I can't go a long time, so I'm gonna be careful with the guests today, okay? So I'm gonna have one guest so far coming in. I just gotta get my headset, then I'll send an invitation in. So okay, let me send invite. Yes. We're gonna get to that. Don't worry, we're gonna get to that. And the other one. I just gotta. Only come in if you've seen the movie. I have to clarify that. Only come in if you've seen the movie. George, come in for a little bit. When are you going out? Okay. When you're going out, if you can come in for 5-10 minutes, that's fine. I don't have no problem with that. Okay. Also, it's not just an Ant-Man spoiler review stream. I'm also going to talk about that video that had no sound, not sound. And when I was talking, I actually thought it was one of my best videos. Really, as I was hearing myself, was explaining the 2023 Marvel schedule, the Marvel stuff, what we're going to get in 2023, and how this affects the MCU going forward, and also how it's not really just an MCU thing. It's not a Marvel thing. It's actually a Disney thing that's changing the plans for Marvel and even Star Wars. And I actually thought it was one of my best videos. Unfortunately, there was no sound. But yes, come in only if you've seen the movie. Okay? As the rule, I mean, it's not a rule, but it's better off. Okay, George. It's okay. Okay. So it's a rule, guys. It's not a rule. Okay, sorry, it's not a rule. But it's better if you've seen the movie, or not just for movies, it's for TV shows, whatever. To come in and talk about this movies and the stuff, because if you don't care about being spoiled, okay, but it makes it more fun. So,
I
Blind Bill,
haven't watched the movie.
I'm playing Blind alternative ending. You know the ending you told me a couple weeks ago. You were wrong.
Yeah. Well, not really, because that was actually the original ending. So the original ending got leaked. Then that's the one that I told you.
Mm-hmm.
So for whatever reason, they changed it, and the original ending was better because the ending in this movie is the most stupidest
Well,
thing I've ever seen in a movie.
I'll say this. I hated the ending because I not the boss battles, the final scene with Scott Lang and Kang, with Ant-Man and Kang, where when they're
The
both trying to get through
Yeah,
back to the Earth. I hated the part when Scott Lang just shrugged off the
the
warning.
shrugged off part.
Yeah,
That's what I mean. That was the dumbest thing I've seen
you
in a
do.
movie.
I'm
Like,
sorry if you're an Avenger, like if Tony Stark was alive, he would not shrug that off.
well, the thing is, right? Like, I know Scott Lang is not the most brightest character, right? But
But he doesn't
you
need
think
to be
he
bright to know that.
would have at least recognized that this was a threat like Thanos? Because he says, like, Kang literally tells him his whole motivation, which is like to destroy all these universes, including his. So
He's
why
yeah.
wouldn't that be a
Yeah, like
something you'd
you don't
bring
even
up?
need to be. You don't need. I know he's not the smartest, obviously, of the Avengers, but you'll need to be the smartest to know that.
No, yeah. Like, he literally bold faced told him what he was gonna do, and he just shrugs it off. I couldn't believe that. I was like,
No, the
this is
Quantumania
stupid.
Kang the Conqueror is dead. Okay, it's dead now.
Well,
This
we don't necessarily know.
well,
We don't really
I
know.
think we know because it did the mid credit scene. Do you know who exiled Kang to the Quantum Realm? It was all those other Kangs.
Yeah, it was Immortus and
Yeah,
Ramata, and
so I think
what was the other one? Was that
the grassy knows
because I was like, who was the
Mortis,
other one?
Mamatat, and yeah.
What, because it wasn't what's his name?
Hey,
Red Centurion?
there is some. I think the
It
grass you
wasn't
mentioned
Red
my other
Centurion.
stream, one of my other streams, Sherlong stuff like that. Sherlong, I don't
Okay.
know. Yeah, if it was
So,
Doctor Strange,
Because yeah,
yeah,
I
Doctor
didn't I
Strange
didn't
wouldn't shake it off either. Yeah, like
well, any character would have not shrugged it off. It was only like, I don't even think Ant-Man would have really shrugged that off. I think that was just some bull crap they wrote last minute. Because
Scar.
that
Yes,
whole
there's
scene
Scar
is
Centurion. Yes, there we go. It was Vortex. It was him.
okay.
So yeah, they exiled Kang the Conqueror to the Quantum Realm. I
But
guess it did
those Kangs have a different motivation
an
than Kang
agenda.
the
Yeah,
Conqueror. So that's why
Conqueror
I'm
went.
like, they couldn't have killed him off.
Conqueror probably went against their plan.
Well,
Whatever.
their plan is just to create more multiverses, or
Yeah,
sorry, universes.
yeah, and you have like I
and
think in
Conqueror went
the
against that.
Yeah.
and I
But
think
the thing is, the problem with Kang Conqueror is he wants to destroy his universes. My quest as a hero, be like, what's your end game on this? If you destroy all these universes, what's your end game? Like,
Well, he says this is why I'm saying, like, this movie is so all over the place, because he does say what his motivation is. He says that he wants to create incursions so he can find the perfect universe or create the perfect
oh,
universe. It's not clear why, because he said both at one
what
point, which is,
what made him want to have a perfect universe?
I have no clue. We
I
have
feel
no clue.
I feel like they should have like in the movie, like they maybe like some kind of flashback or something like of his.
They did.
Well,
Really
this movie creates a lot of problems.
It
Yeah.
does. Like, did you have to have I don't know what that guy's name. Remember, I think you're in the area where someone joins King the Conqueror and everything like that, and they kind of get captured, like in the middle. I forgot his name, but like in a certain part of the movie, I feel like they could have cut some of it out and replaced it with something else.
Well, I just want to know one thing. This is my burning question. I'm telling Aaron, okay? Okay, so in Loki, right,
Yeah.
we have the one above all, and he says that if I die, the multiverse will fracture, right? And it
Yes.
will, and as a result, it created Kang. So in this movie, they contradict that, because there's a
because Kang
scene.
was already there.
because Kang was he was there with Janet for how many years? So
30. I think it was 30.
it was for 30 years. So this is what I don't understand. How was Kang there? Like what? How? Like
It feels. I'll say this. It feels like the Marvel writers don't really watch everything.
Yeah,
well,
probably.
they don't need to watch everything.
But they need to be told. They need to be told.
They need to understand. Well,
Yeah.
we as an audience need to understand how this works, because there was another thing that Kevin Feige said that again was never explained in anything, which was that the events of No Way Home, the reason why the spell messed up is because that wasn't supposed to happen. It only happened because of the events of Loki, which again, that's not explained. That's a whole new can of worms that you just opened. Because now you're trying to say that the
multi screwed up because Peter Parker kept like distracting.
No, that's not what Kevin. Go back and look, Kevin Feige. It's
that's not what we saw.
No one, that it's nowhere in any movies do they explain this. It's only Kevin Feige saying this on the red carpet.
Here's the problem with that. I mean, if you could say they could say that all you want, but if the audience doesn't see it that way, it doesn't really work.
I think it's a problem.
It could. They never explained it though.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. And they contradict each other too. Like if you contradict what's happening Loki into this, is like what is real. Like it's not good when you contradict yourself within
or explain it. Like this is going to be a massive problem going forward.
What is a massive problem right now?
When you open up this multiverse, I mean, I keep saying this. I mean, Kang is not that great of a villain to begin with.
I totally blind, bro. Isn't a multiverse concept a hard concept to do?
Yes, it is hard. I mean, it's only hard because of Marvel continuity. Like, if you go back and you look at Kang's stories, there's so much convoluted nonsense with Kang. There's stuff with his son, and then his son tried to impregnate himself with Captain Marvel, and then there's all this nonsense that happens in the comics.
Captain Marvel does get pregnant, but as Miss Marvel at the time, she does get pregnant.
And there's just so much nonsense with Kang as a character that, to be honest, like I really wish they didn't pick this character, because he's not that interesting.
You know why they're doing it? They're just trying to find a way to get the X-Men in Fantastic Four. That's it.
Well, I think they wanted to do a multiverse so they can have nostalgia fest. Like you can have something like No Way Home, but I think they were like, well, what villain do you really do that with? You can. Kang is probably the most well known, and he's probably like maybe the one that's visually interesting. Yeah. Because there's different versions of him, but it's not. But the variant thing is not. That's not like that in the comics. It's totally different in the comics. It's different versions of him from a different time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Not different universe. So
who did you want as a villain? Like
if I don't know who I wanted as a villain, like to be honest. I think Doctor Doom for a multiverse story I think is a little ludicrous. I mean yes.
For a multiverse story?
Yeah, for a multiverse story.
I personally wouldn't want to do a multiverse story.
I wouldn't do a multiverse story either.
I don't think this is my opinion, but like with Marvel, I don't think they're good with even in the comics.
I've said this before.
DC does it better.
DC does it better.
DC
the reason
is the one.
Why DC does it better is you have a kind of character you have a centerpiece of a character like Flash that is easy to explain the multiverse and everything like that. Marvel does not have that. DC.
Yes, that's a good point.
Like, even like people can call how trash the show is, but people do understand the concept in DC more.
I understood the multiverse concept in the CW show perfectly fine, honestly. The CW show.
Yeah, I mean, I've said what you were saying, Arkham. Like, Marvel was never known for multiverse stories. There's not. I mean, Marvel had one singular universe. It was a DC thing. But all of a sudden now, there's all these Marvel fans being like, "No, they do multiverse stories." It's like, no, they really haven't.
No. DC does them a lot. Like
DC's been doing them since the 50s.
It's a staple of them.
Yeah,
Like Marvel was never known for multiverse stories. I don't know why they picked multiverse because I mean, well, I know why. It's because of nostalgia. That's the only reason why they picked it. They were like, how do we bank? How do we continue making Marvel movies and get people in the door?
yeah.
Well, you bring back characters that people like. You bring back Wolverine. You bring back Tobey Maguire. You bring back, I
They
don't know,
said,
Ghost Rider and stuff.
It's probably
they
this-
said why not? Let's copy the multiverse concept. What DC did.
Yeah.
It's probably this is yeah. I just you know what? Look, I like the movie, but it's not a great movie. I say it's more like I know you hated it, Blind Bro. I gave it
Yeah, I don't-
Max gave it a 7 out of 10. I gave it like a 6 personally because there are some things I did not like. I'll say this: there is really no character development in any characters in it. Okay, that's true. That's true. And some of the humor is like I don't care about the sex jokes, stuff like that. It did get.
Well, it's a lot of Rick and Morty. I'm not sure if you watch Rick and
Yes.
Morty. It's very like I know the writer is
I did
Rick and
the
Morty.
writer's
He's written
take,
the
man.
best Rick and Morty episodes in my opinion. But I'm sorry, but that was total hack stuff that was going on in this movie, where he's literally straight up lifting jokes from Rick and Morty. These are jokes that we've seen. If you've seen Rick and Morty like season 1 through like 4,
Mhm.
you've seen those jokes that are in this movie. That was the part that made me like infuriated. Like I was so like I couldn't believe what I was like watching.
Oh, Jeffrey, if you're seeing it on Tuesday, I suggest you don't watch the stream because we kind of spoiled it already.
Yeah.
Don't watch the stream, man. I appreciate you coming on, but I don't want to move. We don't want to move in for you, okay? Unless you don't care.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
there are people that don't care about spoilers, but
Yeah,
like
I
this
appreciate.
is my opinion on it. It's like I agree with Brian DeBro. It's not the best. Like I would probably give the same rating, probably 6. Like
I would give it a 4, to be honest.
like
I know you would.
at least a 6.
I
For
thought
me,
the way you
the most
describe it,
the most
Wait, wait,
enjoyment.
the way you
in-
describe it in the
Well-
in the DM group, in the DMs between you and I thought you give it less than a 4. Honestly,
Probably I would give it a less than a 4. I don't know. I was just being fucking
you hated it.
generous.
The way you described it in the DM groups, I thought you really, really hated it.
I hate this movie. I
I-
can't stand this movie.
you would probably give it 1, to be honest.
Like I
That's
mean,
just so weird. He said he
it's
hated
just
the movie,
it would
but
be
it was 7 out of 10.
hyperbolic. Yeah, I don't know. Some people's rating is weird, but like I told Aaron, like it's not that there's just so many problems with the movie, and then
It's
on top of that, I got a headache watching the movie, and I don't know. This was the first time I've ever experienced this, but the visuals actually gave me a headache looking
some
at
of the
it.
visuals. Some of the visuals is hard to see, and there were some visuals in the background, like nothing. Some days at times, it looked like nothing was moving.
The
Yeah,
visuals
it was
aren't-
it was
it was not
strange,
great.
very
The
strange.
visuals-
Yeah, like
It
there- I
feels
saw, like,
like they kind of rushed it, to be honest, because the visuals, like usually the visuals are pretty good when Marvel releases a movie or something.
Movie, yeah.
Yeah, this did not look good, and it's like don't
I
get me-
think, man, it's
don't
that's
get me
why
started with MODOK and
I
stuff
think-
like that.
I think that's why
Yeah.
I love Bob Iger coming back. Bob Iger saw the problem with Disney, and that's just a Marvel thing. This is a Disney thing, especially with Star Wars and Marvel. They saw, you know what?
Well, I wouldn't hold on. I wouldn't necessarily say that Bob Iger should be praised just yet because
I know
these movies were in development under Bob Iger.
he probably told
Bob
us Disney
Chapek
Plus
was not even there for 3 years,
yeah.
right? So
But I think
I
Bob
he
Iger-
really did do enough to
Bob Iger
affect
went-
these movies.
Bob Iger wanted to fix the Disney Plus shows. He wanted to do the Disney. He was there to try to fix Disney Plus more than the movies.
Well, he's trying to fix a lot of stuff now.
Yeah.
He's trying to fix the damage that was
You
done
think-
with the animation movies.
You think? You think, for example, we're probably only get 2 Disney Plus Marvel shows. That's probably
Yeah.
That's probably Bob Iger telling Kevin Feige, maybe you should.
You need to slow down
Yeah,
because you're
'Cause I-
you diluted the brand, in my opinion. Like
yeah.
there's not a
And-
lot
and-
of stuff on Disney.
And he's the one who wants a Star Wars film sooner than later.
But I think Bob Chapek though was kind of right because now I mean this doesn't apply to us, right? It only applies to the Americans. But now your guys are not going to get adult content on Disney Plus because of Bob Iger. Bob Iger.
Yeah,
Bob
speak
Chapek is
that.
the one who wanted that. And he was kind of right because Disney Plus, if they only just put out Star Wars and Marvel, people are just going to unsubscribe. They need a lot more variety than just
Little
Marvel
bit.
and Star Wars.
Yes.
It would be like Netflix just having Stranger Things constantly. It doesn't work.
Well, they canceled a lot of some of their shows already on Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
It's now like see here's the problem. I said this is a problem from the start. When they're doing these phase 4, 5, and 6, phase 1 to 3 took like let's round about to a decade, 10 years, right? Let's say 10 years, right? It's a little bit over, I think. It was more like 11, but if you round us to 10, right? They're trying to complete the saga like in 5 or 6 years. It can't work like that.
Yeah,
They're rushing it.
they're rushing it. Yes,
like the one like
I think, and you know what? Sorry to cut you off, Arkham.
it's fine.
The reason why I think they're rushing it is what I was saying before, is because they know that there's not a lot of nostalgia you can milk from this thing. This is really about nostalgia, in my opinion.
Well, phase 7 and 8 and 9, if they're gonna they're obviously gonna do those phases. But the X-Men, Spider-Man, and Fantastic Four are gonna be the face of that phase. That saga.
They
right?
want that. Did you hear what Ken Feige said? He wants the MCU lasting 80 more
80
years.
years.
The MCU ain't gonna last 80 years.
Yeah,
the studio part could be if it doesn't go out. If it doesn't go
I
out.
see what he was
MCU
talking
can't
about,
last
but
that long.
I don't think it can last that long.
No,
I agree.
No, it's not like comics.
It's not like comics, and on top of that too, like comics, they come out. I mean, it's kind of hard to gauge. Comics come out very frequently, but you also have runs where they would come out, once a month, right? It was usually once a month.
The Marvel Studio, I can see the Marvel Studio staying around. If Disney's still around, Marvel Studios can still stay around.
But they're already burning through a lot of stories, right? They passed a lot of stories.
Well, you can have more than 80 years if the comics keep going, and Marvel Comics keeps going, and DC Comics keeps going.
Well, if Marvel Comics keeps going, if it's good though.
Yeah.
Because they're adapting the stuff that is not. Was not.
You won't know. I won't know because I'll probably be dead. I'll be over 100. I'll be dead.
I'll probably be dead as well.
Kevin Feige will not be running it anyway in 80 years.
Yeah. I don't know why he said that. He shouldn't have said that. I think that was too. That to me seems like you're on your high
variant. Okay, he is okay. This is spoiler review. This is the second end credit scene. We see the Victor Timely variant of Kang. He's in the play, right, or whatever, or play or musical, whatever. He's gonna be part of season 2. He might be just one of the variants. And I believe there's another villain too. I'm not sure. But here's the thing: we're not all out of Kang variants. Some of the Kang variants are gonna appear in other shows, and they're gonna die or in those shows. But when we get to Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars, there's gonna be a bunch of them, as you saw at the end of the mid-credit scene. That's what I think, right? Because we already got 2 of them pretty much dead. Okay, you got the one from Loki season 1, and I guess Conqueror's technically dead, right?
Well, I don't think he's dead. I mean, remember, I think. First off, what version of Kang was that anyway? Because there's going to be other Conquerors. I mean, we saw them in the mid-credit scene. Yeah,
but I guess they're not going to go. They're going to be called something else, right? They're all going to be Kangs, but they're going to be called always something else, right? At the time, wherever.
It would be really lame if that version of Kang died off, and they just replaced him with another version that was just identical. That would be super lame.
Ant-Man beat him, so that tells you something.
Yeah.
I mean, Ant-Man could be Kang the Conqueror. I mean, I'm sorry.
I feel like Kang was the best part, to be honest. In the movie.
In Kang Dynasty, they're probably gonna they're gonna have a bunch of teams. It's gonna be a bunch of teams fighting different versions of the Kangs. Those three, and you saw in the end credit scenes, and the mid credit scenes, they're probably like the 3 main variants, like the 3.
Oh yeah.
Ultimate villains of the Kang variants, right? That's probably gonna be the 3, right?
Well, I think I said one thing that I said was potentially true, which was that the Young Avengers is not going to get a project because the Young Avengers are the Avengers. They're going to be part of the main story in Kang Dynasty,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because if you're introducing Kang, you're obviously going to introduce Iron Man.
The Conqueror has already killed a bunch of Avengers. The Conqueror. He's even mentioned that.
Yeah. Well, in different universes, though.
Yeah, I mean, he killed Thor. He pretty much confirmed that, but he doesn't recognize Ant-Man. So apparently, Ant-Man was not in his universe.
Yeah. Or
So,
he just doesn't even know Ant-Man. Yeah.
so maybe Thor is a Nexus being because Kang is a Nexus being.
Possibly. I mean,
think
the thing is, the Nexus being stuff is also confusing.
I know, but I think so. I want to know how these Kangs all got together. It's like one
Because
Kang.
wouldn't Doctor Strange be a Nexus being too?
Doctor Strange is a Nexus being. He is. They confirmed that in the Multiverse Mass. Scarlet
Well,
Witch and Doctor Strange are Nexus. beings.
Okay, well, not Doctor Strange then. I guess you could say all of the Illuminati then.
Maybe.
Like that to me doesn't, like, the whole Nexus being was like, it should be for people who are like the same in every single universe. It shouldn't be like, oh, if they appear in another universe, they're a Nexus being.
Well, Captain Carter and Doctor Strange, was it originally supposed to be Steve Rogers becoming that, or was it the whole time?
Yeah, but she still exists though.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily.
They don't
matter
do a
if
good.
she's not
They haven't
Captain
done a good
Carter.
job explaining that. I mean, this whole multiverse concept, they haven't done a great job because apparently there's so many ways to open up multiverses in the MCU now. It's like it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I'm gonna criticize the writer here, Jeff Loveless. I have nothing personal against him, but when you say this, turn off your brain and watch the movie like a 12-year-old. When you explain multiverse stuff, all the scientific stuff, with all this stuff, 12-year-olds will not understand that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
Come on, no.
That was damage control.
Yeah,
him posting that was damage control. Yeah.
I'm sorry. You think they will not understand all of that? Okay.
Adults will understand, not 12-year-olds.
It's nothing personal against the guy, but it's.
Oh, and the movie's PG-13, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can't turn off your brain and pretend you're a 12-year-old because a 12-year-old couldn't watch the movie.
I'm sorry, but you can't turn off your brain for comic book movies, especially MCU, because most of them are connected, and you're not ready for. Even though the kids see them, but some of the stuff in the MCU stuff, and even the DC stuff, kids were not going to be fully understand, like us, like fully adults.
If you turn off your brain, you can't watch the movie. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You can't do that for mostly.
I hate when people say garbage like that.
It's not like Transformers, okay, or like. Or like Jurassic Park, okay?
No, man, this movie, I can't stand this movie, man.
The one thing that I do hope going forward from this movie is you actually get more, because with the thing with me is the Young Avengers, like those kind of things are like separate, and I hope you see build up towards the Young Avengers.
Well, they watch. They are. It's not going to be the way that we want it, but they're. I mean, you see them in so far. Like we've seen majority of them. Not, we still have Hulkling and Iron Lad. But like those are the only characters. I mean, we haven't gotten Wiccan and Speed aged up, but they still exist, right? We've seen them.
Yeah.
So they're pretty much already done. They're already full, they just need those two characters, Hulkling and Iron Lad. That's it.
Yeah. Do you think they're gonna bring what is it? Do you think they'll bring Steve Rogers back?
Yes.
And Tony.
Because I think
and Natasha, yes. Every single character will come back. Yeah.
I think they won't be back for long term. Probably just be like a one-time thing.
Yeah.
Like, because I know Scarlett Johansson said Black Widow is pretty much her last film. She felt her character is complete. But if they want to bring her for Secret Wars or Kang Dynasty just for this one last hurrah, fine. I think they'd most likely do that. They won't be back signing up for Like,
well, I mean, they killed off her character before she even got to the final battle, which was pretty pathetic in my opinion.
They're just not going to sign on for multiple projects. It'll probably just be a one-time thing.
Oh
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people feel this way that after, I think a lot of people feel like the MCU hasn't been the same after, I think it's Endgame.
Or
I
say
think
that again.
No, the MCU hasn't been the same
I
since Endgame.
Oh,
I think
yeah,
there's
I
some people.
agree.
I think the
agree.
people actually thought like I didn't think Endgame was the last MCU project, but people actually thought the Endgame was like the final.
Oh, I didn't think that.
Well, I mean, it is called Endgame. It's like,
Yeah, it's
you know.
not the best title if you think about it going forward. You know.
Yeah, no.
I mean, I agree. I think I really don't have much faith in the Marvels. I don't think Captain America 4 is going to be all that great. Same thing with Thunderbolts. I really don't like the only movie that I know is probably going to be good is Guardians of the Galaxy.
The Grassy
Everything else, I don't
the
think.
Grassy agrees with you with Thunderbolts. He doesn't think it's gonna be good either.
I don't think Thunderbolts is going to be good.
He
Is it-
says he doesn't think Thunderbolts and Blade are gonna be good.
Isn't
Yeah, I could
Thunderbolts,
see Blade too. Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Thunderbolts like people tell me that Thunderbolts is like the version
It's
Marvel-
not. They're supposed to be, but the team is
There's
not really the.
the thing
they're not
is
really
with the
criminals.
Thunderbolts. This is the thing about. This is the thing about the Thunderbolts. There's so many variations of Thunderbolts in the comics,
Yeah.
and the one that they're going with is like an amalgamation of like the recent, like fairly recent one with
And the thing is,
random people who've never been on the Thunderbolts. So that's
and
the
the thing
problem.
is, the team of Thunderbolts looks like they're going with. Most of them are not really criminals. I mean, Ghost is technically a thief, but she's
most of them are
Well, they're villains.
soldiers.
They're villains in the sense that they were,
Hey, Max.
you know.
But Bucky Barnes
What's
wasn't
up,
really
Max?
a villain. He was brainwashed.
Yeah, but he still was
Hey,
a
Max.
villain to,
Hey,
you know what I mean? Like
Hey, Max.
in
Well,
the
you know, we
movie
could talk
sense.
spoilers here, Max. What's up?
I thought I'd join a little bit. I'm sorry I'm late.
No, don't be late. You want me
Don't
to
be-
first? But I agree with you about Thunderbolts. I mean,
Well, there's so
You could
many
go up a century.
variations of Thunderbolts. Like you could have done the one from the '90s, which I don't know about that one, but
maybe
you could have done. But the one that everybody wants because that's the best one
really,
is
he
the
doesn't
one
have
with
Zemo
Zemo.
on the team.
Zemo and his whole arc of becoming a hero. Like that was a totally like
Wow.
that should have been adapted, not this whole bootleg Suicide Squad because that's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, Max. So Max, you're allowed to so you get spoilers. I know on your stream last night you can't go into detail. I mean, you can't go into detail on why you didn't like some of the stuff, but you're allowed here, obviously.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it was a decent movie. I love King. I love the buildup of King, and the future of King in the King Council.
Yeah.
I think was a huge, like, you have this great buildup of a great villain, and then the cell should be, oh wow, and then there's a lot of Kings coming, and it's really going to be intense, and then it just became a joke. I know it was probably pretty close to the comic book origin of the King Council, but I think it completely failed. It was really cheesy, like overly. It's not like the good kind of cheesy. It's like the comic book cheesy where it doesn't work.
I agree. I didn't feel like they were threatening the ones that are clearly at the top. Whatever, Mama Tot, and Morris. They didn't sound like all that threatening.
And their designs, I know, were pretty. Some of them were pretty
Yeah.
close to the comic book origin, but this is
Yeah.
where like quality of life, where video games will do something
gotta
to make it
change it.
more
And
modern. They should have done something to make it a little bit more palatable
yeah.
and selling to the modern audiences, because that just was that just completely undermined the performance of Kang this whole movie. And then at the end too, like the decision to just take him out with the Wasp at the end, I think that kind of undermined the strength of this villain as well. Like, just to have one Ant-Man and Wasp take him out.
Yeah.
I mean, they were building up how intense he was the whole film, and then to that.
You know what I hated? You know what me and Blind Bill hated? I don't know if Arkham said anything. We hated how Scott just brushed off Kang's warning.
Yeah, that was dumb.
Remember, like you know how at the ending he narrated the whole story like he did in the first. He narrated from his book and stuff from the beginning and the end, and then he started to remember about Kang's warning, and then he shrugged it off. Like, come on, you'll see if Kang said this to Tony Stark would not shrug that off.
Mm-hmm. It just felt tacked on. It wasn't even funny. It was just like, shouldn't you actually be concerned about that? Like, why turn that into a joke? But that's the whole reason why this is all happening. This is weird.
You gotta have Twitter, man.
What's that?
RL.
No, but that's what really did it. Like the movie wasn't great to begin with, but I could go along with it because it was building up this great villain, and to find out to do more research on what's the actor's name that's playing King?
Jonathan Majors.
Jonathan Majors, to see his processes. He's one of those actors that doesn't like to watch what he does. I was like, oh, that makes sense. Based on the end credit sequence, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Because he's not getting any pushback. And I think that the director just filmed whatever he gave, and is like, oh.
I think the writer wasn't good either.
Yeah. So
a lot of stuff wasn't good in this movie.
I guess the potential that the King in this film is still alive, maybe, or there's another King that's on the level of the acting in the King and the Loki or this. But then there's also the thing about every time you face a King, someone defeats it, and there's just another one. Yeah, kind of takes away the impact of each one too. You know,
yes, it does.
There's like 1,000 of them. I feel like each Kang is from a different universe, and they all got together, to have this one plan.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but the Kang the Conqueror is the one Kang that decided to go against that plan, and they exiled him to the quantum realm.
Well, this is why I say Kang was never a good character in the comics to begin with.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little confusing which one is the actual Kang.
Well, because see, if it was effective, if the scene was effective, you would say, "Oh, there's a whole council of kings."
Mm-hmm.
Once you face one, and that would be scaring you. But you get the opposite. You're like, "Oh, this one was defeated, and there's another one, and then there's another ridiculous one around the corner." But that to me, at least subjectively, like, if were it to work, you'd be like, "Oh wow, we face this one, and then there's thousands of them, or an infinite number of kings."
Yeah.
But now we defeated him, and look at these ridiculous. It's like it has the opposite effect of intimidation, and it's just like, oh, okay,
it's more comedic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did like how OP Kang was for most of the film.
Was he though? He got beat
till the end. He was really OP.
He was doing good until
the end.
Yeah.
Until the ants, and which I could be okay with the ants as long as he didn't die.
When he got pissed and he started blasting the rebellion, those people, he just like they just to the people that were trying to rebel against him. He was so pissed off. I actually liked that, how pissed off he was.
Yeah, but did you notice how inconsistent it was? Like, he would shoot someone and they would die, but when he would shoot Ant-Man, it was okay. Like, he didn't die. It was like,
it's like he yelled back against Ant-Man.
I noticed that.
Stuff like that just was like so. It's just so lazy.
Maybe it's like Dragon Ball Z. Maybe like because in Dragon Ball Z, when you get shot by energy beam, if you're somebody like Goku, it doesn't really kill you. maybe Ant-Man has strong durability. I don't know.
I mean, his suit is not that. I mean, it's still just
But
ridiculous.
he beat like I know Ant-Man got some shots on him, but he for most of the time they had the scuffle, Kang dominated Scott.
Yeah.
Like MODOK, look, I know people had issues with MODOK. Here's my thing.
I hate
look,
MODOK. Oh God.
I always
Lord.
knew it was gonna be a
Good Lord.
joke of a character.
It's not even the way he looks. It's just the whole character again. That's something out of Rick and Morty. It was like, oh
Yeah, but you
God.
know, Blind Bill, MODOK's always sometimes always perceived as a joke, or like the Avengers game, they make him serious.
Yeah, but this was not.
No, it was.
This
it
was. This is like a Rick and Morty character where they come in
It was,
and they make fun of them because they have like some problem. Like there's obviously some brain damage with MODOK, right? And it was just like every joke was annoying. The whole dick joke, that was going on way too long.
Marvel all of a sudden so obsessed with sex jokes.
I didn't like how
Well, no, they're just calling him a dick.
Oh, he
Like,
is.
he's an
Oh,
asshole.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he was. I mean, he was a villain. Villains are supposed to be jerks. Assholes.
But he was just obnoxious.
Oh,
But
yeah.
it was
agree with
MODOK.
that.
It was MODOK. It's another case of Marvel where the villain has to redeem himself.
I feel like, in my opinion,
Well, that was played for a joke, though. He didn't need to. So.
I feel like MODOK really didn't have to be in this movie, to be honest.
Mhm.
Like, to be honest, he's not really that important to the plot.
Yep.
So why have him in there? It makes
Yeah.
no sense.
What was the? I mean, first off, it's not even. MODOK has no connection to the quantum realm.
No, that's right.
And then they try to mix it where it's like, oh, it's actually Darren Cross, but then even that was like, well, okay, why is his body proportion all weird? Like, shouldn't he just have like a giant head and a tiny body? But like, no, his arms are like attached to his head. Yeah, it was just weird design. It wasn't consistent with how he actually shrunk down in the first movie, so that was just like, okay, that was weird. I could see how it was clever, like what they were thinking, but it really wasn't that because he didn't get enough time anyway.
Like, what the hell?
Yeah, it was unnecessary. You didn't need it. The mask did look cool. He should have kept the mask, to be honest.
Yeah,
And,
it's better with the mask on.
Yeah, and people were pointing out on Twitter too, where it's like MODOK does look ugly, yes, but MODOK is also grotesque.
Make sure
very
Kang never
disturbing looking.
you make sure Kang never gets created. You tell Reed Richards or Sue Storm never have kids.
Well, even that. I mean, you know, in the comics, he's also potentially related to Doctor Doom. So.
Tell Doctor Doom to never have kids too.
It's all nonsense, confusing. Like I said, I do not like Kang at all.
Are you saying Doctor Doom got together with Sue?
No, it's supposed to be like their kids. It's like something really ridiculous like that.
I know Valerie. Valerie they named their daughter after Doctor Doom's mother, right?
Yeah. Oh man.
God.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I could see how this could be a mess down the road.
Yeah, I solved it.
Yeah, Degrassi has a better idea. Like if it was you kept the mask on and then you reveal it was Darren Cross and he was all disfigured from shrinking, and it actually looks like MODOK. Like MODOK again, grotesque looking. Like he's got that weird face, like body horror stuff. That would have made sense. And then he wasn't just played up. It would have been kind of like sad, pathetic, because then you're like, oh my god, like this is what happened, right? Like, and now he's just this machine thing.
It's really sad, pathetic. I mean, like he was gonna sell the stuff to Hydra. I mean, like.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, MODOK should have just been.
Do you think Hydra's
the
coming
stuff
back?
with AIM. Yes.
I do think Hydra, they haven't been around for a while, but I do think they're coming back. Yeah, AIM. Yeah, MODOK has a connection with AIM, obviously from the comics in the game.
Mm-hmm.
But in MCU they use AIM only with Iron Man 3.
Yeah, and then never again.
Yeah, that's Killigan, right? Caden, Agent Aiden, right?
Wasted
Yeah.
I think they wasted MODOK. Like you can't. It's like you could have had a future with that character. Now it's like really.
Like the Avengers
No,
video
you
game.
can't.
The
Obviously.
Avengers video game did a good job of MODOK.
Yes, which is
Yeah.
weird.
Was he
Yeah, that is weird.
Was he technically an Inhuman in that game? Was it Terrigen one turning him into that?
It was, yeah, I guess he's kind of like an Inhuman, but it was more like a physical reaction that he had, and then
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
it just kind of got out of hand. Maybe I have to go back and look.
It was better in that game than the movie.
Like,
Yeah, it's weird.
what did you like about the movie, Max, that you could spoil?
I like the family stuff. I was concerned about Cassie King, but I think she did great. I mean, not great, but she was good. She was good. The parents, the Pims, the Hank or they were great. The dialogue was not good for Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd usually could make a decent dialogue funnier, but there just wasn't a lot there. And I'm not against Rick and Morty, but now that I know that their writers were involved with this too, I could kind of feel like the whole stuff. I mean, I'm not against that type of humor either, but it really it was just lame.
I don't have a problem with the humor. I have a problem with the fact that if you've seen Rick and Morty, you would know that the jokes are recycled. Like he's like literally ripped off some of these jokes. Yeah. Like that whole scene where Ant-Man is like you're seeing all the multiple versions of him and then one of them runs and dies. That's a
thing.
Yeah. So it was just like, wow, like I couldn't believe this.
The scene where Ant-Man faces all potential possibilities was kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
There were some good things when he got really big, and then he was going after Kang with and it almost looked like he had Captain America's shield. That was good, but then that was over pretty quick.
Yeah.
So there's really cool moments in here, really interesting things. Some of it felt like they were trying to do like the Thor level or the Taika Waititi Thor level humor with even like Bill Murray would have been right at home in a Taika Waititi movie. And also Bill Murray kind of just, I love Bill Murray, but he kind of just phones it in. He's just like Bill Murray.
Yeah, he phoned it in.
So it's a mixed bag. I could have overlooked all this stuff if the buildup was there for Kang. And that maybe this King. I would like to ask, do you think this King is still alive, or they're just going to do a different one?
Maybe.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did a different one, but this one is also alive.
Yeah. Do you know that they said that they screened? These test screenings are ruining films because they said they were actually going to go ahead with the original that line with Ant-Man saying, "I don't have to win, we both just have to lose." That was probably one of the best lines of the film, which is not saying much, but it was a good line, and it would have been really impactful if it ended with a real big cliffhanger and intensity. I think at least, but they said they changed it because of test audiences didn't want something too similar to him being stuck in after the second movie.
Marvel only had one cliffhanger ending, and that was Infinity War. Pretty much, maybe Civil War.
I mean, Max is kind of right. Ant-Man and the Wasp did leave on a cliffhanger. It was in the post-credit scene.
Yes, and the second post-credit scene was just a preview for Loki season 2, which is very important. Obviously, that's what I'm like thinking.
The second Ant-Man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, second Ant-Man. Yeah. Well, second Ant-Man.
Well, the teaser for the other part with the better teaser was the end credits one for Loki season 2, but that seems like they could have done that teaser with or without the movie, and that's not a good sign
that's
either.
A scene.
I think I know why they obviously know why they did that, because Loki season 2 has connections to obviously Kang.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Right. I mean, if you would know that.
They did that, and I'm like thinking, as I was seeing that, I'm like, are they gonna switch Secret Invasion with Loki season 2. Maybe go Loki season 2 after Ant-Man and have Secret Invasion just before Captain Marvel, maybe on the Marvels. Maybe you're gonna do maybe a switch there.
I could possibly see that. That would make more sense, to be honest.
I can see that.
And Owen
I mean,
Wilson.
Loki is the more anticipated show, if we're being honest.
It
Yeah.
is. It is.
Loki was one of my favorite Disney Plus shows out of all of them, to be honest.
Yeah, it was very good. I liked it.
Yeah, you have one good show, then the rest goes.
The rest, not so much. Yeah.
You know, I'll say this: Jonathan Majors was the standout of this movie. I got it, but Michelle Pfeiffer, she was like, her and Jonathan Majors were the 2 stars of the movie.
Yeah, I think there were. I mean, I still didn't like Jonathan Majors. I thought Michelle Pfeiffer was probably the only decent actor in the movie. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like I thought everybody's performance. Michael Douglas was kind of embarrassing. In my opinion.
Probably this is wishful dreaming. I just hope she makes an appearance in the Flash movie.
Oh, that would be cool.
It would be cool though.
Yeah.
Yeah, she should have. Honestly, she should have been in.
Yes,
the Flash
DC is doing this. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see who actually does it better.
I think DC is going to do it better.
What do you think?
Yeah, to be honest, it'll probably that's DC's stick. It's like DC is known for multiverse. Marvel is not.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? Time traveling in Marvel and multiverse stuff, like it seems like there's no consequence.
Multiverse, time travel, anything Marvel Comics was never good. I'm telling you, it was so bad.
Here's the thing.
It's like, good Lord.
It's always good with DC. It's what DC does. It's not what Marvel does.
Here's the thing. Now, remember in Endgame they said, oh, the time travel stuff, there's no consequences. All of a sudden now it's like there's consequences with Kang involved. Right?
RL, what if got delayed?
I don't know.
They never said it, but it's been delayed. No, it's been delayed. It was supposed to come out in March. It's definitely not coming out.
Okay. So
apparently it's going to come out next year.
So Endgame, like an Endgame, right? An Endgame. Yeah. Going back, traveling in time, there's no consequences, or basically no consequences. But now there's finally consequences that are coming out with Kang and stuff with time travel, and obviously the multiverse stuff has consequences, right? And the thing is, in DC, Batman, you seen the Flash movie? Ben Affleck's Batman says the consequences basically of time travel.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's always, when DC does do an event with the multiverse, there's always going to be a consequence because there's usually, it's not build up immediately. It just sort of happens, which is probably the best way to do it because the more you build up to it, the more convoluted nonsense and issues you have, right? Like Infinite Earths just kind of happened, right? Like it's just, it wasn't really built up toward, even though there were writers that were pissed off. And you also see the
changes on what happens within the consequences when you go back in time, like with Flash, with Flashpoint, you see like things change and stuff. But as like the one thing that DC always does better is like it's always the multiverse, and I don't know why Marvel is doing this, to be honest. To me, it doesn't make sense them doing the multiverse because that's never been Marvel.
That's never been their thing, yeah.
I think beat it to them a lot before. I mean, in the CW show.
No. Like, there's literally Secret Wars is not even a multiverse story, right? No. It's literally Beyonder took everybody, put them on Battle World, and was like, face off. And then the new Secret Wars, that's more of a multiverse story because it's about incursions and merging the universes. Yeah, and that was their way of just like streamlining everything because they had, streamlining, they only had 2 different universes running. It wasn't like DC. They just had the 616 and Ultimate.
I'm not surprised Alan Moore would do that because he came from DC originally and introduced that concept because, they steal. Yeah. They steal ideas. And most comic book writers vote for both companies. And they bring their ideas from one company and they'll bring it to the other, trying to use the characters and how they use those characters with their ideas they took from DC, obviously, right? Mm-hmm. That's what they do, right? Obviously,
Yeah, multiverse was not. I don't know why people keep saying that. I don't understand. That was never a thing for Marvel.
I think people just want to see the X-Men and Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
I mean, for crying out loud, Marvel couldn't reboot. Marvel has really never rebooted. Like they had to create they had to make the Ultimates comic because they were like, we don't want to reboot. So then they just ran them side by side.
It's still messing the comics. Like, just fucking reboot. Like, this is the one thing. The reason why I always praise DC Comics. Yes, you might have not always have good comics, but when you do have criticisms and what people don't like even within the New 52, etc., they reboot and make those changes and the criticisms that people had with that.
Some. I mean, the New 52 is still a mess.
Some.
But that's because of plotting and
but
stuff.
Within the criticisms, they change the things and everything like that. So you don't have a big convoluted mess in the comics with DC now. With Marvel, there's so much convoluted mess and everything like that. So just reboot and stuff like that. It's not that hard.
Yeah. I think they're just afraid of rebooting because there's so much like Marvel has really kept intact their universe for 60 plus years, where everything is in continuity, right? Where DC has picked and choose what was in continuity. So yeah, I mean, I think that's the reason why they're reluctant to reboot. So to be honest, I think it will eventually happen when they're we have to do this, right? Maybe to boost sales or something, but
speaking of a crazy reboot, you're going to reboot Hellboy. Third time.
God.
Who's writing it anyway?
I don't know. I know. I did like the first two movies. Honestly,
I like the first two movies. Yeah.
Who's writing it?
Yeah.
I did not like the other one, but I love the first.
I didn't like the reboot either.
I don't know.
Hopefully this reboot is actually good.
I have no faith in it. Until I watch it and see it, I have no faith in it.
DC reboot?
No,
Hellboy reboot.
Oh.
They're making another one.
Yeah. They're rebooting again.
I think that, if they want to make another movie, they might as well.
I wouldn't mind if it was an animated movie.
They should have made a third one.
Sense.
Or you could just make an animation, maybe.
Well, if it's a third movie, you would have to bring back Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you don't even bother, because that's just a waste of time. Because Ron Perlman, he could probably do it, but he's old, right?
Yeah.
If you want to do old Hellboy, which
if you could do animated, he could do voiceover.
I think animation can work. I have no problem with that. It could work. But
yeah, I would prefer animation, to be honest.
Yeah, the one thing that I like about animation is you could do what the hell you want with the story and just
Lord,
go ahead.
Yeah, I've seen this. Yeah.
And it's I feel compared to animation to live action is kind of restrictive. Where animation you could do whatever you want, whatever story.
Can you imagine?
Well, it can look more like the comic.
Yeah,
because they're doing that video game that's in the style of the comic. So why not have a TV show?
Mm-hmm.
Or an animation, maybe not a movie. I don't know if a movie will do well, but a TV show probably might be popular.
Maybe animation TV show. I think that would work. I don't know why they keep making these Hellboy reboots. The last one didn't do so well.
Yeah.
Just turn it into animation.
You know what I think it is? They're trying to find some. I think it's Hollywood trying to find some
more superheroes.
More superhero movies. It's not DC or Marvel.
Yep.
Because
why not do Savage Dragon? Who owns the rights to Savage Dragon?
They have Spawn. They have Spawn right there, man. They have Jamie Foxx.
Well, we know they're making a Spawn movie, but Savage Dragon, to be honest, The Rock in a Savage Dragon movie might actually make more sense than him and Black Adam. Savage Dragon feels more like a Rock character.
Isn't Crooked Man canceled Conjuring Universe movie?
That's part of the Conjuring movies.
I think he might be referring to something else.
But because
I thought that movie got canceled,
yeah,
and I don't know if it was.
yes, I think it did get canceled. We are getting a Nun too.
I don't know
Right.
why.
Well, the first movie did well, so
yeah.
that's probably why.
I did. Yeah, because it's Image Comics, right?
Yeah. But I'm wondering who owns Savage Dragon, because I'm surprised they haven't made a Savage Dragon movie or like attempted
Let me
to.
see. Who owns Savage Dragon?
There's some characters you're like this should have, once all this superhero stuff was going on. I'm just surprised like no one was like, hey, I'll buy the rights off of you or something, right? Or you can get some creative control.
And I think Spawn could be a good movie based on the writers that they got.
Mm-hmm.
And also, it's Blumhouse. They do really well with horror with not the biggest budgets, and they actually do really well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Image Comics owns Savage Dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like it's creator owned, right? So it's not owned by. Okay, Degrassi said it was owned by. Like he should go, and he should get a good writer, make a script, somehow convince The Rock to make the movie, and it probably actually might be better.
That's the point of Image Comics. Image Comics doesn't own your character. It's a company, but they don't really specifically own the character.
They just publish it. They make a publishing deal with you. Yeah.
So that's why you got Angela in the MCU, not in MCU, but in Marvel, because Image Comics doesn't technically own the character. The writer Neil Gaiman does.
Oh, is Neil Gaiman owned?
I think Neil Gaiman created Angela. Yes, I think so.
Because I was always confused by that, because I was like, I thought Todd McFarlane created Angela.
No, Neil Gaiman did.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure Neil Gaiman created Angela, and yeah, and now and I guess Marvel owns Angela now if he sold it to her.
Yeah.
And
I wonder if Angela's ever going to appear in a movie.
Well, it'd be weird though, because she was a Guardian and also Thor's sister.
Well, she's Thor's sister. Yeah, I don't know if they'll do that again.
It'd be funny.
They already did that
though, because he really has no family. I'm sorry.
Actually, now that maybe they might actually. It's like him and his sister, his other sister.
But Angela's a character, man. She's really like. She's like Gamora, if you ask me.
Well, you have to pay Image to publish your comic. Okay.
Angela, the way she is as a character, she's kind of like Gamora, a warrior,
Mm-hmm.
like an assassin.
I mean, they tried to do that mini series with her, but it kind of just fell apart. I don't remember when that was. But that was...
in Image, she's an angel, but in Marvel, she's a goddess, basically.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if Taika Waititi's doing the next movie. Maybe I probably don't
get
want
him
to
out.
see her in that. Yeah.
I don't think Thor 5 is gonna happen for a while.
I think it will, but I think based on what Chris Hemsworth said, they probably will make it a finale, and that'll also sell tickets.
That's just true. The Man of Miracles from Spawn is also. Man of Miracles is actually the father in the Spawn universe is the father of God and the Satan, but it was owned by I think Gaiman, and I think that's Miracle Man too.
Yeah, okay, that makes more sense. That's why I was like, Marvel like reprinted Miracle Man and stuff.
Suck. It's gonna suck if Love becomes.
If it's Taika Waititi, if not, I think maybe it could be a really popular character.
Yeah, man. That's gonna suck if Love comes to MCU, Angela.
But I still want, before you do Angela, you still gotta do Beta Ray Bill, man. Like, why are they taking so long?
Is that the reason why they didn't use Angela in the HBO show? They use a different angel assassin from heaven to go after Spawn? Or is that before all this? Because in the HBO show they had a different angel assassin.
Degrassi might know. So he might say, because I guess that would make sense. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You see, with this movie, Ant-Man, like, okay, it does set up Kang Dynasty. And I said Phase 5 is the most important.
It does,
phase.
But it doesn't.
I say Phase 5 is the most important phase of this saga because it has to get you interested in Phase 6 to see the climax of everything. right? Like to me, a story obviously a story needs a good beginning, middle, and ending. But to me, a story needs the middle needs to be the best part of a story because it gets you interested in continuing on to see the ending. You know, the finale.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. I mean, a lot of, a lot of the movie happens in the middle,
And they,
right,
st-
or
and
of
they
a
still
story.
use Image still uses him though.
Mhm.
Wait, I mean,
I mean, I kind of, I mean, we can kind of guess what's going to happen in Kang Dynasty, like the opening. It's going to be very similar to what happened in Infinity War, where
yeah.
it's probably going to be Iron Lad who comes and warns them about what Kang
Or
is
the
doing.
Hawk. It could be like the Hawk Wall.
Well,
Bruce
no,
Banner.
it's going to have to be yeah, like Iron Lad will have that role,
Yeah.
right? Because I mean, he's going to be the last young Avenger
I
that they
mean,
introduce.
I mean, Scott should be warning all the Avengers, but he just
He
decided
should
to
be,
shrug it
yeah,
off. It's like,
yeah, like an idiot. Oh my god.
still, he
I'm
just
gonna,
saved the world.
I'm gonna
Right?
have to head out because I gotta run to the store.
Oh,
Forgot
are
to
you
get.
All
doing?
right.
Are you doing to the max tonight?
I'm doing some kind of stream. I'm not sure if it's to the max or just a regular MME, but it will be. We'll be doing that, and then on CGH's channel to watch the original Batman
Oh yeah,
Oh.
later tonight.
that's awesome.
But I
Well,
gotta run
take
to
care.
the store. I forgot. I
Take
got
care,
text.
Max. Well, you gotta
All
do what you
right.
gotta do.
All right.
Thank you for coming on.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Maybe I'll do
Thanks,
more of these
Blind
just
Bro.
when I come on. You want me
Yeah,
to do
Yeah.
this
see ya,
on your
Max.
channel too? I could do this on
In
your
Arkham
channel.
Gaming. Yeah, yeah.
See ya.
Okay.
All right.
I
See
could
you.
do see ya.
Peace.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Kyle
it's-
Ursul is purely in the Image comics. Is purely Cain, the son of Adam and Eve.
mm.
Yeah.
I do hope that Spawn movie does eventually come out.
I not. I think. Let me try to remember. I think she was, but I don't. But she
I
wasn't
don't
in.
remember it
She
now.
didn't go after Spawn. I think she was in a flashback, not a Spawn flashback, but I think in medieval times. I think she was, or something like that. But she's not. She didn't go after Spawn. It was a different character. That's Angel Assassin kind of.
Not sure. Was she in there?
I didn't even. I really don't remember that she was in there. I really thought she was.
Let me check.
I don't think she was. Like I watched the series. I don't think it was. She was.
It was a. I know. It was, she appears as a cameo in the live movie. Really? I thought it was in the live movie.
Mm.
Where?
Who said that?
Yes, she was.
She was.
She but it was it's different times.
One
Like
episode.
I
One episode.
seen the Angela Spawn. No, she was in the animated series. There was an
Oh.
anime. Yeah, she was an animated. Let me check.
Just one episode, or was it just at least 2 or 3?
I'm not sure it was HBO.
Mm.
It said season 1, episode 4.
Oh yeah, she yes, she was. She tricks a couple men and thinks she was a prostitute. Yeah, or yeah, she was.
Oh,
Apparently, she was also in the movie. I didn't see her in the movie.
she
Where was
was.
she in the movie?
Mm.
I don't know. I didn't see her in the movie either.
Or Step, the actress. Apparently, she's in that. What the hell? This can't be right. Apparently, and you know that scene in Spawn, the movie where Spawn crashes through the roof of where Jason Wynn, where everybody was having dinner with that at that event. Remember that scene? And that's where he kills the lady assassin that killed Spawn, that killed Al Simmons. You remember that scene, right? Okay. Apparently, she was in that scene. She was apparently in a green dress. You guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently she was in the Spawn as a cameo, the movie. So I didn't recognize her. I guess they were planning up. They were definitely planning for sequels for that movie, weren't they? They were definitely setting up sequels from that movie. Where did Blind Bill go?
I don't know. I've been seeing James Gunn answer a bunch of freaking questions.
James Gunn.
Yeah. So Twitter, but I do hope, like, it for me. I gave it a 6, but like, what's the next movie? Is it Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yeah, Guardians.
Then it's the Marvels in November. Do you think the reason why they delayed the Marvels is they're? I know Kevin Feige said they're cutting back the shows and stuff like that. So like, do you think they're gonna put more, like, I guess, effort and not as rush the Marvels as they did probably with this film? It feels very rushed.
I think the Marvels is bad, to be honest.
What are Marvels?
You
think that's why they
think
delayed it.
that
The Marvels was done filming like last year, so
They're gonna do reshoots though.
yeah, reshoots. So, and they're gonna have to do the VFX for the reshoots. And I think they already did reshoots last year too.
I think they might actually reshoot a good portion of the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
Because I heard that movie is not good.
Yes.
There's some jokes in there that might be worse than Ant-Man.
Oh man, no.
The whole do you know? Did you hear about it? Because it got leaked. There's going to be a sequence where basically Carol is married to this guy.
Yeah, I know that.
I guess is a K-pop artist. And he, on their planet, instead of talking, they only sing. So every scene on that planet, they sing. So it becomes a musical.
I don't like that. Wow. I don't want a freaking musical.
Yeah, not a good idea for a Marvel movie, in my opinion.
Like, I don't have a problem with musicals, but in a Marvel movie, no. No.
I'm not a fan of musicals in general, so this is not something I'm looking forward to.
Same, I am with you. No.
For me, it depends on, like, what. For me, like, I'm not a fan of musicals, but for me, like, it depends on the movie also.
I'll be right back. You two talk. I gotta go take a break. A little break.
Like, but yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I
don't want to, like, I want to watch a movie, people singing freaking the whole freaking movie.
Yeah, I think they delayed it because there's obviously issues with it, and it could potentially get another rotten score. I mean, the first Captain Marvel didn't score all that well. It got like a 70. It's not rotten.
I think the only non-rotten score would probably be Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, Degrassi says they won't change any of that. Well,
change what?
I mean, I'm not surprised. The musical part.
Oh yeah.
I'm not surprised, but it's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be perceived well. I think it'll be perceived well with a certain group, but yeah.
I think
I don't think it will.
I think it'll be perceived well by people that kind of like that stuff, but like not everyone.
I think the Marvels will be niche. It'll be very niche.
But I do think Guardians of the Galaxy will probably be like, I don't think it's gonna have rotten score and probably be very well perceived. I think that movie's gonna be better.
Yeah, probably.
It is James Gunn's last Marvel movie, so it kind of makes sense.
I mean, Sophie's getting Batgirl. You mean like Sophie's gonna get canceled? A Marvel thing? Is that what you're saying, or
he's getting back or what?
what got Batgirl? Something is getting Batgirl. Oh yeah, I know. Echo.
you think Echo's gonna get Batgirl?
Yep.
Are you talking about the actress or something like that?
No, he's talking about getting canceled, like not being released at all. They're gonna cancel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry.
I could see it
That's what
because
he means by that.
I could see probably like if I had to guess, probably at least one. I don't know how many things are gonna get canceled, but probably because they're cutting back and not releasing as much like Disney Plus shows. I see probably if I had to put a bet on something, maybe Echo. I could see that. I don't see like it could get canceled. Like, that's my prediction. I think Echo could get canceled. What do you?
Whoa!
I think he's joking there.
I'll help you. Because that ain't happening. I don't see that happening. You know Degrassi knows not happen. Guardians is coming through, man. They're gonna do Guardians.
But Degrassi said something that was interesting, where he said that he said that James Gunn didn't return to the Marvel's writers' room after he got fired. That makes a lot of sense. They just let him do his movie and then whatever. They're not going to spend another.
Well, I think Guardians 3 is not going to be.
Guardians 3 is probably still do well.
So so you know how we got this, right? It's going to set up the next big villain, right? Obviously, with Kang and all that. Guardians 3 is. I don't think it's going to be the one movie. It's going to be one movie. It's not going to set up anything.
It probably won't, to be honest.
No, it won't. It probably won't.
It'll just be a conclusion to James Gunn's Guardians trilogy.
That's why I think it will have the highest. It's going to have. Yeah. I believe it's going to have a high score. It might even have a higher score than the original movie.
Yeah.
What did Suicide Squad get? Was it above us 94?
Let me check. The Suicide Squad?
Yeah, the Suicide Squad.
Yeah. It's hard to freaking because that's
okay.
I think it got let me just go on Rotten Tomatoes. It got sorry, I have to click on it first. It got 90% Rotten Tomatoes, and it got 82% audience.
And you know how Disney doesn't really care. Disney's not meant for kids.
Mm-hmm.
I just saw it a couple hours ago. I saw a commercial where Ant-Man, Paul Rudd was in the commercial promoting Heineken beer.
Heineken beer.
Obviously, don't drink and drive. But they were promoting Heineken beer. So that tells you something. It's not all meant for a 12-year-old. Okay. Right?
Weren't they talking about getting drunk in Ant-Man though?
Yeah. What? That's the problem with these people with Marvel stuff. They think it's all for kids.
It's not.
Wait, so do you think Disney is like kind of upset at James Gunn then?
I think.
Oh yeah, probably.
Degrassi thinks so. I know Degrassi thinks that.
I could see them. Because now he like I could see it the opposite way where they're probably mad at him because now he's running another studio and everything like that.
Well, he took their secrets. He's taking their secrets to the competition.
Yeah, that too. Like I can see
knows.
I can see where it's the other way around where now DC is flourishing and Marvel is falling apart.
You know, this would have never happened if they never fired James Gunn.
Yeah,
this would have never happened.
100%.
So it's their fault. I don't blame them. No, I what's the word? Like I really don't care. That's what I want to say. Like it's their fault that this happened, right?
It is. It kind of is. It's like. It's gonna be interesting what happens to Marvel when you actually see what's it called, Chapter 1?
Yeah, Chapter 1.
Yeah, when you see the Chapter 1 coming out, it's like
because I think it's probably going to be better.
Yeah,
I-
not
I-
Joe. To me, it's pretty funny where now you have the switcheroo. Like now
Yeah.
you're gonna see Marvel.
Yeah.
Like it's not like I don't want Marvel to succeed. It's just kind of ironic that now you're gonna have DC flourishing out, and
You
then
know what?
just-
I want them to both. I like you guys. I want both of them to succeed. I just care about comic book movies. I don't
I mean,
care
if
what makes
Marvel
them.
keeps putting out movies like Ant-Man 3, then
Yeah, this is
I'll
this is
definitely lose interest.
this has been a problem the last few years of Marvel. They've been inconsistent with how good the movies are.
and you shouldn't rush a movie.
Here's the
also.
thing. Here's the thing, right? As someone who does read comics, right? We all don't read every single comic that comes out.
No,
But the
yeah, I know.
MCU
it costs us millions of
expects
dollars.
us. Well, it costs a lot of money, but also too, not every comic is going to be great, or it's not going to have your favorite character
No.
in it.
Yeah.
So why does Marvel feel like everybody needs to see all of their projects? Like at this point, it's like that might be too much of an ask, especially if you have TV shows and then you have movies and then you have presentations and then you have multiple seasons of a show. So it's like you have to
No.
really keep up to understand the story.
Look,
And if you're not, you're not going to understand at all.
look,
Yeah,
I,
the one thing I appreciate what because this was confirmed. Even if you don't play the games or watch I guess the animation, you'll still be able to understand what's happening in the movie projects with DC. So like say you don't play the whatever DCU game is coming out. You don't have to do that. You don't have to because it's gonna be its own story, but still like loosely connect to the DCU. So
Yeah.
like and he officially confirmed that you don't even have to watch the animation because like you're not gonna be it's not gonna be like Marvel where you have to force to watch all these projects.
Yeah, Marvel is forcing people to watch every single thing. I don't
And I
think that's
don't
a good
like
idea.
that. I do not like
here's the thing. Here's the thing. Like Disney likes to they release like the Star Wars content or Marvel content on like a Wednesday or Thursday, right?
yeah.
Mhm.
HBO likes to release their prime show, their number one shows, always on a Sunday
Sunday.
night. And if I don't know if it's gonna happen, but if they decide to put Ping one there, it tells you the differences between quality between Marvel and DC.
Was Penguin HBO?
Yeah, HBO Max.
Yes, HBO Max.
Well,
yes,
no. If
service.
it's HBO Max, it's probably not going to appear on a Sunday.
I think it is HBO Max.
It is.
I think it's like Last of Us.
If it's no, well, Last of Us is HBO.
I think it's is it? I think
No.
it's
HBO Max original things are not tied to HBO. HBO is a different like
No,
that.
no,
that
no,
like
no, no.
the
Let me clear this up. The Last of Us is actually HBO Max. Like
no, it's okay. Well, HBO Max is Degrassi could explain this. They're really not the same thing because you have HBO shows that are designed and greenlit under HBO, and they have HBO Max
they are
shows
going through a
that
change.
are
That is true.
like the Last of Us is not a HBO Max original. It's an HBO show.
okay.
Yeah.
You mean
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, is the Penguin an HBO Max original or is it a HBO show?
And they're combining it anyway, because remember,
Well, you get in in America, yeah, you would get both, but that's not how it is
not
or how they develop it.
Canada.
Because the HBO
Oh.
Max original doesn't
what you're
necessarily.
talking about. When I log into, I think HBO Max, you have an option of HBO Max originals, and you also have HBO content too. So it's like, what?
Yeah, you get like
I
the
could-
way that they develop an HBO Max original is different from just a standard HBO show.
You're getting rid of that, man. You're gonna get rid of that. They're gonna.
They
combine
shouldn't.
it.
I hope to God they don't get rid of that because that means the quality is going to go down. HBO shows tend to be extremely well produced.
It says it's an HBO Max show. That's what it says.
And yeah, I mean, I still think it'll be good, but it's not it's not officially HBO. Because I'm telling you, they really confuse people with that whole HBO Max thing. Like they should have never called it HBO Max. They should have called it something else.
Well, it's gonna change anyway because I think they're combining it.
Yeah, they're combining it.
They're combining it and changing the name, which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the HBO Max, that just
But they're
tarnished
still-
the brand.
Here's the thing. They're combining it, but you still have Discovery Plus for people, I guess people that still subscribe to just don't want to go over.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, you know, with, I think it's kind of going to be a little similar situation where, you know, with Disney and you have Hulu and stuff like that, and Hulu's its own thing, and it was supposed to merge into, I guess, Disney and stuff like that. It's probably gonna be a similar situation where
Yes, they might sell them.
yeah. So like, I'm good by it like, because like when they release it, there's not gonna be any HBO Max on the freaking. It's gonna be called something else with they merged.
I want to talk this problem I see on Twitter. Why is some people having issue with Kang being black?
What? You really have a problem with that?
What is it? I'll be back. Yeah, we'll talk later. I'll talk after. Yeah, there is. I was gonna ask.
I don't really have a problem. How? Oh my god, people have problems with everything now. I liked how it's he has like the helmet and it's like a blue visor and everything like that. I like that. Like I have no problem with
but he's always like people. The people actually thought he had really a blue face. It was always had a helmet. That was always his helmet.
Yeah, like I think the route they went with is fine. Like I don't think he was ever to have a blue face, to be honest. I don't think they were ever gonna do that.
You never had a blue face. No, I mean he had a blue face. That's the screen.
Yeah.
He always looked human under it, you know. He is human. He's a descendant of the Fantastic Four, the family. He's always been human.
Yeah.
From the future, obviously. But like very powerful.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was right in the comics, but we'll talk after. I don't want to make this a race issue. I know he was. But did it really matter? Just race bending him? Does it really matter just to make a difference?
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Like
really, man.
People have a problem with everything now. Like it's not like you can enjoy anything anymore.
People have the issue with the actress they used for Cassie Lang because some people thought they should use the actress from Endgame. And I'm like, that actress is like 21 years old.
I know. The one in Ant-Man and the Wasp is the same actress that I don't know much about her, but I know she was from Supernatural.
Yes, she's from New Supernatural, Freaky Friday. She's a Detective Pikachu.
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah, I know who she is. I think Degrassi, I know Degrassi, you could say this. Degrassi said he did not like her performance.
I think she was fine. Like,
Her performance was the worst I've ever seen in a Marvel movie.
Yes,
Sorry.
I didn't like it either.
I was so bad.
I feel like to me, it wasn't the actress' fault. It's just how they written the characters. Like,
oh no, the actress did a terrible job. Oh my god, it was like she couldn't. She only had one mode of acting, and she couldn't fluctuate any other emotion. It was just like the same.
Yeah,
constant.
I noticed that too.
It was really bad. It was like, wow, I can't believe they recast that other girl for her. It was insane.
They've done it so many times for casting Cassie anyway.
Yeah.
Well, no, they only did it once.
They did. Oh yeah. Well,
The little girl was the same in the second and first movie.
but Endgame was a different actress.
Endgame was a different actress. Yeah.
So it's three Cassies basically.
Yeah.
The multiverse of Cassies.
Oh man.
It's
It could
funny.
have just
You know
been.
what?
It could have just been the
Funny,
older
'cause
one.
When I watched her in
that was it.
Supernatural, she wasn't that great in Supernatural either.
Yeah.
No, she's
But
not a good.
But Freaky Friday,
terrible
she was
actress.
Freaky Friday. She was good.
You're Peyton. Look, listen. Peyton Reed is not that great of a director. So
No, I compare the filmography between Peyton Reed and Edgar Wright. Edgar Wright had almost
no,
every movie.
not even. It's not
I
even fair
know.
to compare it. No.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Edgar Wright, every movie is done. Almost all of them I enjoyed compared to Peyton Reed's.
Oh man, sorry. Give me a second.
I mean,
It would have been interesting to see what the original, because people are talking about Edgar Wright and stuff like that and comparing with Peyton Reed.
this is what I like about DC, man. They're going with directors that they don't have fully full control of, like Marvel does. You know, they're not. They're always checking if this works, makes sense, connects. You know,
Yeah.
where they can actually tell them. It's like kind of like, even though they have the directors work on and the scriptwriters work on that, but
Yeah.
you know, they interfere, right? And they want to make sure this gets into the script, this makes it into the movie. Where DC is a little bit more loose. That's what I feel like. That's why going for the bigger directors, more control.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
it still has to work for the overall scheme of things, for the overall big whatever event.
And
right?
they do have to finish the script also.
Because you know, in DC and Marvel, right? You know, they come from the comics department, right? You know, when there's always a big event, right? It doesn't matter if it's a big event, but you all know they all have to communicate with each other, so it can all make sense, right? And you know, there's always those blurbs in each issue that tells you which issue to go back to, so this makes sense with what you're reading, right? That's what they do.
Are you mean in the back where it has like a list of things to read
No, but-
within the event?
Sometimes in the actual story as you're reading through the pages, you'll see a little blurb down below, like check issue 54, Batman.
Oh yeah, yeah, I see that sometimes.
Yeah. You're right, but because that's the thing where Tom McFarlane got away from. He didn't like that. That's why him and a bunch of others create Image. Right? So it's like, and you know, she's really easy on the eyes. It's a problem when you have too many writers.
Yeah.
Cooks in the kitchen.
Oh, I'm not. I do.
You're not gonna miss.
I'm not a fan of Ironheart. I do not like that.
We're gonna end in 10 minutes because I have to go soon.
But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see. It's gonna be interesting to see what path they're gonna do, or what James Gunn's gonna do with DC, because I know like JJ's not gonna be around anymore. If you had to pick to someone to do Justice League Dark, who would you pick?
I know I would pick. Guillermo del Toro.
The original.
That's from me, Justice League Dark. So, Degrassi, you know, Supergirl is gonna have a super screenwriter, right? A female screenwriter and director. So, who do you think is gonna direct? You know, some people say Greta Gerwig. Probably not Eva DuVernay. Probably not her. Probably not Chloe Zhao. Elizabeth Banks, maybe. You know, she's special interest in DC, and she has worked with Gunn before. I think on Brightburn, right? They worked with Gunn. And a female screenwriter. Well, could it be Christine Hodgson? I'm kidding.
Well, I hope they don't get her as a director.
I'm
this
kidding.
year.
If Crazy Joe was here, he'd be all for it.
No, she needs another movie. After Cocaine Bear, she needs another movie because she's still not great.
Sarah Liz Banks. Yeah, for Supergirl. Why were people having problems with?
Sasha Kai.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh yeah, it's the whole blonde thing. She's not Supergirl because she's not blonde and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, they're stupid because they don't know it's a different universe or went back in time. Things changed. It's stupid.
But it's also weird because those people are that complain have Barry's like the version of Barry that's in the DCU is not the exact Barry like the comics. So
he's not blonde.
He ain't blonde. No, it's kind of a two-way street. It's like, oh, I'll complain about this, but I won't complain about this.
Yeah, Aquaman doesn't look like he is in the comics. He's not blonde either.
Yeah, it's not.
It's ridiculous.
It is. I guarantee you, people are stop complaining once the Flash comes out. It's like, oh, I love her as Supergirl now. It's good. It's a very strange how people are complaining about stuff.
Okay, so I'm going to end it here anyway because I do have to go. So thank you all for coming on Blind Braille. I don't know if you're still there. Put away your stuff if you're there.
Yeah. You can find me Blind and Braille on YouTube.
You got
doing stream on Sunday. Well, it's Sunday. Yeah, it's Sunday. I thought today was Friday. Yeah, I'm gonna be doing designing the DC universe.
Yeah.
So coming up with ideas and stuff. So yeah, check that out.
Arkham.
You can find me at Arkham Unlimited. Sunday I'll probably have a new video on finishing the Corval story. But check that out on Sunday.
Thank you all. Make sure to do me a favor. Share, like, subscribe, comment below. Do all that. Go see the movie. Right? So, yeah. Thank you, Degrassi, for coming in. Overall thoughts. Phase 5. I like the movie, but I still see the signs of not trouble. I wouldn't say trouble in paradise yet, but I still see the signs of maybe where Marvel is starting to get to a point where DC was, where Warner Bros. Was at one point. And the difference is Marvel is not going to go back to the drawing board because they got all this stuff going on and they're going to go through with it. That's the only difference.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah. So thank you all.